Cheers.
Cheers.
2 mugs.
2 mugs. Episode 4.
Episode 4.
I'm Jake Wood.
And I'm Trista Keaton.
And we have a special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Vince Visai.
Hell yeah.
Whoa, that's how you say it.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's a Hungarian last name. That's not the pronunciation. Well, if you don't know, this is a podcast where we talk about crazy and insane news stories from the past and the present.
And Jake has been talking about his stories since the last episode.
Yeah, that is true. I can't stop talking about it.
Are you so excited?
I'm so excited. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Trista and Vince, actually, since we have the guest.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever left a review of a business on the internet? Like Google reviews, Yelp, anything like that?
No.
No?
I can't when you lean into the microphone and he's like, no. Yeah, I think I have because they will give you like special deals if you leave a review for their business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get free stuff.
Give free stuff,
It's
drop them a
nice.
5-star, get 5 free items,
Mhm.
you know.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to completely transition to something completely unrelated, but it'll relate
And eventually.
eventually.
Okay.
So,
we're along for the ride.
drug trafficking. So, in Ireland, since basically like the mid-2010s, there's been a rise of this transnational Irish-based drug trafficking organization known as the Kinahan Cartel.
Okay.
And it's led by Christopher Kinahan, also known as Christy, who's like kind of the patriarch of this crime family.
Awesome name.
Awesome nickname. And effectively, it's him and his 2 sons, Christopher Jr. and Daniel Kinahan, who are basically who are basically involved in super high-level drug trafficking, cocaine trafficking specifically,
Okay.
into Europe and Ireland and the UK and whatnot.
Okay.
And they're some of the most wanted drug traffickers in the world. Each of them, all 3 of them, have a $5 million bounty on their head. So if you get them all, that's $15 million in your pocket.
We should do that.
I'm down. Let's
Get together and do that.
Let's pull up to Dubai, because that's where they're currently hiding. Effectively, there was a feud between them and another gang in Ireland that has led to the deaths of about 18 people, I think, are linked to it.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty crazy, right? And that's basically mainly been led by Daniel. Daniel's kind of like the guy who runs the day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of spotlight on him. He also used to be like one of the biggest boxing promoters in the world at the time. Like very recently,
What
up
an
until
interesting
2022.
side job.
Yeah. Basically, he was just trying to clean up his act, at least in appearance.
Yeah.
Still hasn't, obviously. They're still trafficking drugs. In fact, actually, today, one of the cartel's like top lieutenants was arrested in Dubai, Sean McGovern.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was an update from like when you first picked this story?
Yeah, that happened literally today.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It's good we filmed the podcast
Exactly.
on Wednesday and totally not Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, right, top leaders of this cartel still in Dubai. There's also been reports they've moved to Iran. But as far as we know, Christy, Christopher Jr., and Daniel are all in Dubai.
Okay.
And Christy basically is super elusive. He's kind of the patriarch of this organization, but really the face of the organization are his sons. And they're sort of associates. But, while he's spending all this time in Dubai, I think they left Ireland in 2016. So it's 2024. That's a long time. So they've been living in Dubai, organizing the activities of this cartel. Apparently, Christy Kinahan is an avid user of Google reviews. So that's the tie-in there.
Okay. We
He
see
is
it.
All right.
a big fan of reviewing things on Google. So he has an account on Google. It's named Christopher Vincent, which is his first and middle name. And he's also in the past used it as an alias when trying to set up quote-unquote legitimate business ventures. So, like, there was recently he tried to buy a bunch of old Egyptian Air Force planes to sort of set up a company that's totally not going to traffic drugs.
Yeah.
Under the name Christopher Vincent, he kind of introduced himself. I'm an aviation expert. I have this company. When in reality, he's just a drug trafficker. Yeah, so he's left over 100 Google reviews of various restaurants, hotels, venues, and whatnot that he's been to.
So, okay, so they're just all like in Dubai.
Yes, most of them are in the UAE. Although
Okay.
what's interesting is some of the businesses he'd reviewed were located in Portugal, the Netherlands, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, of all places, you know, and among others. But most of them were within the borders of the UAE. But it's clear, based on these reviews, that Christy Keenahan has been traveling. Apparently also,
travels.
he's a big fan of trying out Irish pubs in foreign countries, but apparently has not given them higher than 3 stars.
He
Sadly.
just doesn't like Irish pubs.
He likes Irish pubs. They're just
They're not the same.
It's not the
He
same.
misses home. Oh,
this poor international drug trafficker.
yeah.
Yeah, for instance, so
Get him
he
a friend.
one of his
An
more-
Irish pub.
one of his more recent reviews. I'll just read it out. He said, "Service was good and the staff was pleasant and helpful. The menu caters for non-vegan dairy and sugar. The menu was quite diverse, and I will definitely return to try other options on the menu. I had the acai bowl, followed by eggs with almond bread and
Whoa.
grain salad. My meal was well presented and tasty. I give this establishment 5 stars." That was a year ago. So this was broken in late March, early April.
Yeah.
It was a joint investigation by the Sunday Times and Bellingcat. So they were doing their little internet research.
Sleuthing,
Yeah,
if you will.
we know it's him because, you know, this could be someone just who happens to have a very similar name and happens to travel to very similar places. But we know it's him because most of his reviews include photos. And some of the photos, while he's trying to hide his face, he accidentally did not. For instance, this photo right here,
Oh my god.
that is him in the mirror.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So
Is this at a hotel?
Yeah, one of the hotels he stayed out. You know, you zoom in, it's like, oh, that's
him.
that's the guy. That's the guy. So there's a lot of photos like that on his Google account where he's like seen in reflections, or people he's associated with are seen in the photos
That's
that he's
kind
uploading.
of so funny because if like he's just taking a picture of like his like he's a foodie, he's just taking a picture of it, and you just see like reflection of this man's like. Does he have like any tattoos? Since he's like.
No, he's just so his nickname's the Dapper Don because he came from a middle class family in Ireland
Okay.
and is known for dressing very nicely. He's he likes the finer things in life, if you will.
Yeah. And Google reviews.
And Google reviews.
Those are the finer things.
You know, I trust a cartel boss with my restaurant reviews.
Yeah. Like, if he had, like, a Gordon Ramsay level show, could you imagine?
I would watch that.
Yeah, that would be so entertaining. Because, like, really, Gordon Ramsay, like, doesn't have any business going up to, like, hotels and being like, I'm going to tell you how to fix this.
Yeah.
Because literally his whole thing was like, oh, I stay at a lot of fancy hotels. Like, that could be that guy.
Yeah, because clearly he does, too.
Yeah.
You know?
He knows the finer things. He could help people.
I'm Christy Keenahan, the alleged leader of a drug cartel, and today we're going to be reviewing this Irish pub in the UAE, you know? Like,
That can be him.
honestly
good
sounds like
business.
a lot of fun. So on top of the pictures, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the locations he's visited line up with locations he's been like the actual drug cartel guy has been reported at. So, for instance, his Zimbabwe trips were related to his attempts to buy those Egyptian planes.
For totally not nefarious
Totally
reasons.
not. No, he's just a businessman, man.
He's a businessman.
And you know, elsewhere, going to the Netherlands, for instance, is like a big tell-all, because that's port of, I think, no, Antwerp's in Belgium, but Belgium, Netherlands, like huge ports for cocaine smuggling into Europe.
Whoa,
So
really?
yeah.
The Netherlands?
the Netherlands
They already
and
got
Belgium.
They already have their
drugs
weed,
are
right?
decriminalized there, yeah.
Oh, like completely? Like all drugs?
I mean, I know marijuana is for sure.
Oh my god.
I think like a few harder drugs too. I think psychedelics are decriminalized too.
They've got something called truffles, which is kind of like a weaker version of shrooms, for example.
Vince went to the Netherlands.
I did, yes.
And he took shroom.
Right. Don't say that.
He didn't do that. Yeah, so this man's been just dropping like Google reviews. His account is just up. Like you guys, if you guys are interested in restaurants and hotels,
This guy's got good suggestions.
he's got good suggestions. You know, he gives thorough reviews, and you know, as like a super rich and wealthy and powerful drug trafficker, I feel like that's decent. Like, you know, it's decent advice. You know,
You know what Lauren told me today about something in Indiana called the Tenderloin Trail.
Oh.
And it's like a trail in Indiana where you can get all the best tenderloins.
Okay.
And I'm thinking we could do this with, like, this is his guy. Like, the Christy
Keenan, yeah.
Yeah, the giant drug dealer trail.
Yeah.
And just go to all of his nice places.
All 92 places he's reviewed that are still up, yeah.
See, we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, the last review he left was, I think, on March 23rd of last year, 2023.
Oh, no.
So it was...
What
it was very
happened?
recent. So
But he's gone now. He's
yeah,
inactive.
There are rumors he's relocated to Iran, and I don't know...
If he's getting out there a whole lot and, like, revealing stuff. He's probably sad.
Yeah, no, he's like...
He lost a really big aspect of his social life.
There's no Irish pubs in Iran?
No.
Yeah, no. I don't think there's any pubs in Iran,
Probably
for
not.
that matter.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been, but...
Never been. I don't think I can go either.
No.
I'd love to someday, but probably needs to be a change in global politics for that to happen.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, so just really, really goofy. This, you know, the most elusive, most wanted drug trafficker in the world, pretty much, is just dropping his location on Google.
So we can do that then. It is possible to, like,
100%.
we can hunt him down and get 15 mil.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so. I mean, if Dubai just arrested Sean McGovern of the cartel, I mean,
We can definitely do it.
15 mil? I could do so much with 15 mil.
We can definitely do it.
Hey, it's 5 if we just get one of them. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You know, think about it. It's like...
Don't bring Vince into this. Vince does not want to catch the cartel man.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's my story.
It's kind of interesting. I asked Vince to come on the podcast and just sit here because the story that I picked is kind of like central to Charles, which was a long-lost companion.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Of Jake and Vince. So my sister and I have a tradition of stealing pumpkins.
Yes.
And we could have saved your butts because we'd be doing you a favor if you ever committed a crime holding said pumpkin.
Right. For context, Charles was like a huge giant. So I don't know about the feasibility of committing a crime.
He was beautiful.
We had to roll him down the hill into my sister's car. That was before I met you guys, and I took your pumpkin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never forget.
Never forget.
He had a good life. He had a long, loving life. So authorities say a Massachusetts trolley driver paid a man $2,000 to attack him while wearing a Halloween mask in 2016. So he paid this guy, and he wanted to, like, collect workers' compensation. And I was like, this is exactly how I feel every day, like, stepping off the sidewalk on campus and going in front of a car. I'm like, if one of you would just hit me, I could just pay tuition.
Yeah.
One of you guys should do that. And I'm trying to get my tuition paid for.
Yeah.
So this guy, his name is Thomas Lucy, and he couldn't convince a jury of his peers that he did not commit this fraud. So the grand jury indicted him on Wednesday, like, I think it was a month after Halloween. So it happened on Halloween that he, like, paid this guy to do this. And in very Halloween fashion, he did it in, like, a skeleton mask, the guy he paid, and was holding a, like, pumpkin, like, on his side. I don't know if it was for accessory or just, like, I don't know what inclined him to take this pumpkin with him. But, yeah, he He got charged with insurance fraud, workers' compensation fraud, misleading a police investigation, and perjury.
It's
So,
the big four, if you will.
yeah, the big four. Prosecutors said that the transportation authority driver reported the man pulled him out of a trolley shortly after midnight on October 30th. So, like, right as Halloween was hitting.
Yeah.
This was scary. The attacker wore a mask and carried a plastic pumpkin. So he's really painting this narrative of, like, I was assaulted by this hooligan on Halloween. Would you assault a man for $2,000? I feel like it's not a lot of money to be like the police coming and knocking at your door and being like,
True.
did you assault this guy? Because ultimately they found he left the pumpkin at the scene.
That's
That's ultimately
Big
what the
mistake.
story was. Is the guy, like, realistically, he could have gotten away with it. Like, he would have gotten his bag. It would have been government bag, so it wouldn't have mattered, like, too terribly to everybody.
Yeah.
And everyone could have gotten paid and gone on their way. Why did he bring a pumpkin?
he was really committed to the bit of
Of
just
the
Halloween
Halloween
hooligan, just taking him out.
Yeah, and
He was like, wear a mask?
yeah,
Oh,
I need
oh,
a
it's
pumpkin.
October 30th? I have a great idea.
I need a pumpkin.
You're going to get your money's worth, sir.
We're gonna do this the right way.
So, did the attacker also get charged with anything?
I don't think so.
Because, like, if I was the police investigating this person, I'd be
Yeah.
like, get your bag, man. Mm-hmm. You know, because, like, he didn't really do anything wrong.
No.
This man's just like,
He
yo.
pretended. Like, he really didn't commit any crime.
Yeah. He's like, this guy just comes up to you and he's like, yo, I got 2 bands for you right now if you just beat the hell out of me in a mask.
Well, pretend. So
True.
he, like, self-inflicted his injuries.
Oh.
So the guy didn't even touch him.
Oh.
He came in and was, like, filing a police report with self-inflicting injuries.
So, like, this
He
guy
basically
definitely didn't do anything
He
wrong.
just wanted him, I think, like, he just wanted him to take the fall or something because ultimately they were going to catch him anyway. But as soon as the police, like, came to his door, the guy ratted him out immediately and was like, this guy told me that he would give me $2,000 if I just pretended to beat him up. So I did what I had to do. And then, yeah, he paid him. Like, it wasn't, I don't know where they met. It wasn't like an on-the-street exchange. Like, he
Yeah.
wasn't just walking down the road. I feel like it was kind of planned.
Yeah.
Because Halloween, there's a lot of crime rates, and, like, police officers are elsewhere, I feel like. So even if he does, like, file, like, a charge, like, that night, it won't get dealt with until, like, probably the next week or something.
Yeah.
By then, they'd be like, oh, well, we gotta let the guy go. But
Yep.
instead, he left that pumpkin there.
Man.
I know.
So the pumpkin basically led to the guy DNA. and all that.
Exactly.
Okay. Damn. That's
Aren't you glad I took Charles?
yeah. Because yeah. Thank God, because then they would never find out that Vince paid me $2,000 to pretend to beat him up.
What? Oh my gosh.
I don't want that.
We don't know if he pled, like, guilty or not to the charges of, like, because I don't know if that makes it better for you.
No.
I feel like fraud's a pretty big.
It depends though, because I feel like this is just such a goofy fraud case. Like
Yeah.
fraud, like if you're like a businessman, you're like doing like Ponzi schemes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like jail time. This seems like just hefty fine.
You think?
I feel like hefty fine, maybe like a year,
We should Google it.
especially if you plead guilty, because
Yeah,
you know.
maybe you feel bad. You're like, I shouldn't have tried to just get my job to pay me money, you know, just for being a person. Like, I think, you know, he shouldn't be put in a position to have to do that.
Yeah,
Like, he was like, I have $2,000 to spare for this insurance claim.
yeah. So he definitely expected the workers' comp to be more than $2,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I wonder what he like. I didn't see the self-inflicted injuries, but like, what would workers' comp, like, they would cover your insurance and like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you just get paid for getting assaulted on the job.
This seems like a really dumb scheme.
Yeah, I think there are way better schemes.
Yeah, there's
Like, throwing yourself in front of a car is arguably better than that.
yeah. At this point, just become an international drug trafficker. Like,
You know, not everybody's got the positionality for that. I think you got to have the chops.
the chops to traffic cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think so.
that's wild. That's
This was a sleepy episode of Two
yeah.
Mugs.
Yeah, but like that is just such a dumb crime.
Yeah,
That is
I know.
Just a really dumb crime.
And if he like went to jail for more than like a year, I would be so mad.
yeah, like,
All for that.
That is fine worthy. Like that's just like the judge will laugh at you, be like, "Dog,
Why'd you? Why are you in here?
give us 10 bands." You know, like that. The
Do you think the
jury for
job
this-
kept him?
I don't think so. Like they're like, "Oh, you're trying to scam us?"
He started a trend. Now all of the trolley drivers are like, guys, like,
Man, a skeleton mask
attacked.
holding a pumpkin
I
just
got
beat the crap
attacked.
out of me, man. It's
couldn't go back to work after that.
it's like when there were like clowns back in like 2016.
Yeah,
Like,
This
seventh
is
grade.
2016.
Yeah.
oh, this was 2016.
Yeah.
Oh,
How old is that?
Like 8 years
8
ago.
years.
Yeah.
2016, where all the
Yeah.
masked clowns were attacking.
Yeah. So maybe it was inspired by that. You know,
Did you guys get it in your neighborhood?
we never saw it, but we heard about
You
it.
just know the videos.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
they're fake though.
Oh, 100%.
They're fake. When I saw it, Evan would be like, "Mom, we gotta lock the doors. They're gonna come and get us."
And you'd be
I
like,
was like, "We're in rural Indiana. You're fine."
I don't know.
one of the worst
I don't
places to
know.
do that, honestly, because everyone has guns
Yeah. And fireworks.
and fireworks, and yeah.
Not suburban Northeast Ohio.
No. No.
No.
We had
Not
fireworks.
Houston, Texas either. Surprisingly. Yeah.
Not surprising. That's a big city.
That's yeah. But still, like you'd think like someone would do the clown thing, but no.
Do you think Michael Myers will come back this year? Do you remember when that happened? Some guy in a
Oh,
Michael Myers
yeah.
mask would walk around.
He was doing it last year, and then I think our freshman year.
I think.
Remember Knife Guy?
Yes,
Yeah,
Knife
freshman
Man.
year.
Oh yes, dude. When there were vigilante patrols.
Yeah,
going for-
yeah.
Apparently, Caleb was part of one of those vigilante
That does not
patrols.
surprise
I was
me.
one.
Yeah.
I had my little taser.
I know we had like everyone was in Longden and all the Humbert people were hiding out in the Jordan because it was Grace Macy and Callan, I think, were all hiding out with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So funny. Dude, we picked 2
Nightmare.
crime-related stories.
Yeah.
Last time we
Wow.
picked 2 episodes ago, we picked 2 animal-related stories.
We're just on the same wavelength, I think.
Just, yeah.
Picking out these stories.
We do not coordinate before this. This is... We
I
bring it
didn't-
in. These are legitimate, genuine reactions.
I didn't pick a story.
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's
That's okay, Vince.
It's all right. You're our guest, man.
Oh my God, Vince's like voice in these headphones. It's real good. You should
Yeah.
be on the podcast.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Third host.
you
Let
could
us
be
know.
on the podcast, Vince.
Producer.
We'll get
Vince.
you a mug.
Yes.
A mug?
3 mugs.
We have to rebrand. Oh no.
Oh. All right. Well.
Cheers and get out of
Yeah.
here.
Let's cheers and get out of here.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink. I always say that.
That's a true 2 mugs fan right there.
Yeah, clink.